The Craftsman Truck Series race at Atlanta Motor Speedway has officially concluded, and Kyle Busch has picked up his first win of 2024. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Freight 208. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So at the start of the race, he had Daniel Dye lead the field from the outside with Tyler Ankrum on the inside, and we saw some really big Dawson for position, and Ty Majeski started third or fourth, got a really strong run, and was able to clear for the race lead. A few laps later, Connor Jones scraped the outside wall from 11th position, was able to continue going, and Kyle Busch was able to get the race lead. Then for a couple laps later, Tyler Ankrum was able to get the lead, and then the next few laps, Kyle Busch was able to get the lead, and eventually Christian Eckes got the race lead. We saw some really good racing side by side, lead changes throughout, and the first caution race to come out on lap number 16 when Keith McGee spun from 33rd position after getting lapped, got loose on the bottom of the racetrack, came up, nearly collected a bunch of drivers, was able to save it with a pretty solid save, and a caution came out. Really don't understand why the caution came out there, because he was able to save it. So under the caution, you had Nick Sanchez, Corey Heim, Dean Thompson, Colby Howard, Stuart Friesen, Ty Dillon, Connor Jones, and multiple other drivers would come down pit road. Corey Heim took fuel only, while most leaders were able to take 2 and 4 tires. So on the restart, Christian Eckes lead the field from the outside with Ty Majeski on the inside, and Ty Majeski got a solid run and was able to get the lead. But then a lap or two later, Christian Eckes was able to go ahead and get the race lead and was able to win stage, come off the corner and win stage number 1. Unfortunately for Christian Eckes, he started having brake problems. After dominating the early portion, he would have some major brake issues that would come into play. During the caution, Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, Caden Honeycutt, Matt Mills, Dean Thompson, Timmy Hill, Daniel Dye, Stuart Friesen all came down pit road while the rest leaders stayed out, and Christian Eckes' day would unfortunately come to an end after basically having brake issues. So on the restart, you had Tyler Ankrum lead the field from the outside with Kyle Busch on the inside, and Tyler Ankrum was able to hold on to the race lead. Then a few laps later, 6 laps later, Kyle Busch got a really strong run and was able to clear for the lead. And then on lap 49, the next caution race to come out when Thad Moffitt tried to get into a hole around 8th position, tried to clear himself up. He was not clear, hit the outside wall really hard. He came back down the racetrack, again got into Jake Garcia, and Lane Race also got some damage in that wreck as well. It looked to me like Thad Moffitt might have been trying to retaliate. He could have been trying to gather his truck back up, but it looked to me like that was a little bit intentional. I don't understand what he was doing right there, but nonetheless, that was a bad bonehead move on Thad Moffitt's part to try to clear himself up. So then, basically on lap 51, we had some guys basically stay out, like Kyle Busch, Tyler Ankrum, Grant Enfinger, Tanner Gray, while most of the rest leaders came to pit road, and Christian Eckes' day would come to an end as he would go to the garage. So then on the restart, Kyle Busch lead the field from the outside with Tyler Ankrum on the inside, and Kyle Busch got a really strong run and was able to clear for the lead after Tyler Ankrum gave a big push. Tyler Ankrum at times was trying to make a really strong run to get the lead, but it would not be enough to get to the race lead, and then the caution would come out a few laps later on lap 59 when Jack Wood spun from 18th position, hitting the outside wall, trying to clear himself up in front of Brett Holmes. He would spin out, go through the grass, and get damage on the splitter. He would bring the caution out. Bad move on Jack Wood's end after qualifying really well. That would be a really bad move on his part. Because of the caution coming out, Kyle Busch would come off the corner and win stage number 2. Then during that caution, Matt Mills, Matt Craft, and Daniel Dye, Dean Thompson, Ben Rhodes, and Stuart Friesen all stayed out while the rest leaders came down pit road. Lost out and actually began to Roger Kroof as he was leaving the box with some bad communication on Roger's team's part. Roger would also get a little damage from that. So then on the restart, you had Matt Mills lead the field from the inside with Dean Thompson on the outside, and Matt Mills able to get a really strong run and clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, the next lap on 68, you had Ben Rhodes come down pit road. After an issue with the right front tire, it would go flat. And then a few laps later, Tyler Ankrum got a great run and was able to get the lead. Then he started having more tire problems at lap 76. You had Stuart Friesen got on the outside wall from 11th and had to come down pit road. Then the next lap, Roger Kroof slowed down with a flat tire, and we all thought that would screw him over, but then a caution would come out from debris with around 50 laps to go, and that would save Roger Kroof. Then all lead lap cars would then come down pit road with Tyler Ankrum winning the race off pit road. Grant Enfinger had to back the truck up to basically get his truck basically filled with fuel. And unfortunately, Nick Sanchez, Roger Kroof, and Timmy Hill got speeding penalties, and Matt Mills got a penalty for running over equipment. So then on the next restart, Tyler Ankrum lead the field from the outside with Corey Heim on the inside, and Corey Heim gave a strong run to Tyler Ankrum and was able to get the race lead. Meanwhile, a few laps later, Matt Mills got into the outside wall from 21st position and would unfortunately have a flat tire and would come down pit road. And then I believe the second to last caution race would come out when debris came off turn number 4 after Bailey Curry actually lost a roof hatch, which probably would lead to the disqualification because it wasn't strapped in. He would lose a roof hatch and unfortunately would go to the garage because of that. So then on the restart with 36 laps to go, by the way, that losing that roof hatch is absolutely wild. So Tyler Ankrum would then lead the field from the outside with Dean Thompson on the inside, and Dean Thompson got a really strong run and was able to get the lead. But then the caution would come out once again for debris, and this would be the final caution of the race. So then on the restart, Dean Thompson lead the field from the outside with Tyler Ankrum on the inside, and Tyler Ankrum was able to get a strong run and clear for the lead. And then Grant Enfinger, he got a very good run and was then able to clear for the race lead. He had some drivers have some problems. Ben Rhodes made contact with the wall and then came down per road at the end. But at this point, it was basically going to be between Grant Enfinger and Kyle Busch. Or so we thought. As they were coming up to basically lap a couple trucks with 7 laps to go, Kyle Busch made a little bit of contact with Grant Enfinger while he was leading, and Grant Enfinger slowed and started having a flat tire, and Kyle Busch was able to pass. So at this point, you have Kyle Busch in the 7, Ty Majeski 98, and the 2 Tricon trucks of Corey Heim and Taylor Gray. You have to think, are they going to start making a move? But they only had 4 trucks up front because the other trucks seemed to not get the run. And as they came to the white flag, they got a really strong run, trying to get to the inside and the outside. We're trying to make moves, but it would not be enough for them to make the move. And coming off the final corner, Kyle Busch is able to pick up his first win of the 2024 Craftsman Truck Series season, his 65th career truck win, and also his first win in a non-KBM truck. Massive congratulations to Kyle Busch. He absolutely had probably one of the best cars in the field. A really strong day for him. A well-deserved win in my opinion. He had probably second or third best. Was not the best truck for sure, but he was in the right position, right time. I think he almost led the most laps in this race, and a massive congratulations to him on getting his first win with Spire. He'll be running next week at Vegas, so he's probably almost going to be my pick to win next week. Nonetheless, massive congratulations to him on picking up the win. So now we're going to take a look at the race results, and I'll give you my score and thoughts on today's race. So Kyle Busch picks up the win. Ty Majeski finished second. Another really strong run for Majeski. He had probably one of the 3 or 4 best trucks in the field. Wasn't the fastest truck all day, but was in the right position, the right time, and gets a very solid run-up finish. Good run for him. Corey Heim finished third. Again, another solid run. Finished second last week, I think, at Daytona, and was able to come across the line in third today, just being consistent. Didn't qualify well, was able to get up front and finish in third. Taylor Gray finished fourth, first top 5 of the year for him after flipping upside down last week at Daytona. A really nice recovery for him. He finishes in fourth. Nick Sanchez finished 5th. He at times had the best truck, but unfortunately has really had no one to work with near the end of the race. But still a really solid day for Nick Sanchez in 5th and continues a really strong start to the year for him. Caden Honeycutt finishes 6th. First race with Nice this year and does a really solid job. Was up front near the end of the event, put himself in the right position, the right time, and gets a very solid top 10 finish in 6th place. Good run for him. Tyler Ankrum finished 7th. Tyler Ankrum, in my opinion, probably had his best race in a long time since probably his win at Kentucky. He had one of the best trucks in the field. I think at times was better than Kyle Busch, probably the second best truck most of the day. Unfortunately, just couldn't get up there to contend at the end of the race, but still to finish in the top 10. Really good, all things considered. I think this could be a pretty big year for him. Good run for him in 7th place. Roger Crew finishes 8th, backs up a really strong run at Daytona with a really good run and had a flat tire at one point and comes home another top 10 finish. I'm telling you, Roger's going to win a race at some point this year. That 71 team's got something built up to this point, and I think you got to look at Vegas as a track that he could run well. Good run for him in 8th place. Daniel Dye finished 9th. I thought Daniel Dye was going to be a major threat for the win today. It just seemed like he never had the race pace to go for the win, but still finishing in the top 10 for the first time this year. Really solid run for him, all things considered. And Dean Thompson finishes 10th. Not a bad run for him. Brett Holmes finished 11th. Pretty solid run for the 32 team. Lawless Allen finishes in the top 15 and 12 for Rayum. Spun out at one point in this race and still recovered to get a top 15. Matt Crafton finished 13th. Okay run for him. Ty Dillon finished 14th, who at one point was 2 laps down. Obviously took over Matt Benedetto going this season. He, like I said, was at 1.2 laps down in this race and recovers to get a top 15 finish. Nice salvaging of a day, all things considered. Chase Purdy finished 15th, was in the top 10 a lot of this race. Never could get up and contend for the win, but 15th is not bad, all things considered. Jake Garcia finished 16th, obviously took over for Haley Deegan this year. Not a fantastic run for him, was quiet most of the day, but still comes home with a top 20 finish in 16th place. Colby Howard finished 17th. Timmy Hill finishes 18th. Tanner Gray, who I thought was going to be a little more a threat today, he had damage in his race, finished 19th. And Mason Massey gets solid top 20 in 20th place. Keith McGee finished 21st. He spun out of 1 point, still recovered to get a top 25. Spencer Boyd finished 22nd. Stuart Friesen, after tire issues, finished 23rd. Lane Riggs finished 24th. I feel bad for Lane Riggs. He just has had bad luck to start this season. Was actually running really well in this race to start off. Unfortunately, got some damage after Thad Marvin seemed like tried to retaliate against Jake Garcia. He finishes 24th after the issues there. Mason Maggio finished 25th, was in the top 10 at 1 point, went a couple laps down, but hey, they were able to make the race, and Mason Maggio gets a really solid top 25. Grant Enfinger finished 26th. Terrible break for Grant Enfinger. I think he had one of the best trucks in this field, unfortunately. Just caught a terrible break. He finished in 26th. Thad Moffitt finished 27th. Matt Mills, who had a really good truck in this race once again. Major issues for him at the end of the race. He finished 28th. Ben Rose finished 29th after tire issues. Connor Jones finished 30th. Going back to Ben Rose, not a good start to the year for him. Bailey Curry, after his issues, finished 31st. Jack Wood finished 32nd after crashing out. And Christian Eckes, after having arguably the best truck early in this race, he unfortunately finishes last in 33rd place. So now let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give you my score and thoughts on today's race. This race was not amazing by any stretch of imagination, but it was a massive bounce-back race for the Truck Series. After the disaster the opening race was for the Truck Series, really the last two races for the Truck Series that have happened, I should say, this is definitely a major turning point for the Truck Series, and I really hope races are like this with less yellows. I think they're only like 30 laps of caution, which is a nice bounce back after the disastrous first race of the year. I thought it was overall a pretty solid race. I'm going to give today's Truck Series race overall a 7.7 out of 10. There were points in the race a little bit dragged out and boring, but hey, I take what we saw today after what we saw last week because that was a disastrous race. The Truck Series drivers, I think, did a much better job being clean, and in general, I thought it was a solid race overall. Again, my score for today's Truck Series race is going to be a 7.7 out of 10. So, that is going to be today's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race review from Atlanta Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support our Patreon as well. Link description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below. And congratulate Kyle Busch on winning at Atlanta. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Later today on the channel, we're the NASCAR Xfinity Series race review from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Then tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have the NASCAR Cup Series starting lineup for the Get Better Health 400 and the Cup Series race review from Atlanta. And then tomorrow on the channel, or some Monday, we should have a NASCAR news video dropping. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.